Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the live Q&A webinar. My name is Danny. I will give you the webinar today. Before we will begin, as always, I would like us to go through a quick sound check to make sure that the sound and the visibility of the chart, okay, for everyone, if you can please use the question section to comment that the sound is okay and that the chart is visible, okay, that will be great, and then I can proceed. Thank you, Ahmed. Very good. Shannon. Great, great. I hope that everybody else can hear me properly and that you can see my screen. Okay, like I said, I'm going to explain what will happen in the webinar and then we will begin. Thank you, Mohammed. Okay, all right. Sarah, very good. So we're going to go through the agenda here. First, we'll take off with the previous questions that our team has prepared. Good to see you, Wayne. And then we're going to carry on with the dynamic questions, which is the true purpose of the webinar. Okay, we are allowing you basically this webinar. The purpose of this webinar is to allow you guys to ask whatever questions you have and to get the answers on the screen. Okay, that's why it's called a live Q&A. So you can feel free to really ask whatever you want. I see people raising their hands. There is no need. There is no need, guys. The question section is all yours. You can use it, and I will answer your questions accordingly. Okay, even if I won't have the time to answer everything, still I'm gonna paste them down here. Okay, where it says dynamic questions. Like I said, we're going to take off with the previous questions that our team has prepared, and then we'll have the questions that you guys will be asking. And then on the third part, it will be a bit more informative, right? So I'm going to send you some links here. And lastly, analysis. Even though I have a good feeling that we're going to cover this through the questions themselves, so if we want, we're just gonna go through the examples here, but I have a good feeling that we're gonna have questions regarding analysis. I already saw some. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, that's also important to know that any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna apologize in advance. I'm a bit ill. So sometimes I'm gonna have to take a break of a few seconds. Okay, and one more thing, the webinar is recorded. I already know that people are gonna ask if the webinar is recorded, if there is an available version that they can receive on the email. So I'm gonna tell you in advance, the webinar is recorded. Okay, so you can review it later on. If you didn't understand something on the first time, you can just go to YouTube and see it in your own time. And on YouTube, you can how do you adjust the speed? You can adjust the speed, right? See it even in a slower pace, perhaps. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for a few moments to make sure that everything is recorded and it's exactly as it's supposed to be. Then I'll be back and we will begin. Thank you very much. All right, we are back. Thank God that I checked. It appears that I had a little update with the software, and now it seems like everything is okay. So we can begin. Okay, we're gonna review, like I said, the first question. Okay, that seems a bit small, isn't it? This one, and that's okay. Never mind. As long as I can read it. So the previous questions. Let's see what our team has prepared. When is the best time to enter a trade? Okay. To enter or to open, which is the same. How to use leverage. Okay, that's nice. How to identify support and resistance. Who can I reach out with a question? Who can I reach out with a question? Okay, can someone trade on my behalf? That's, yeah, well, I guess among beginners, it's quite popular question, right? Everybody wants to somebody that will make the money while they're sipping some nice cocktail. All right, so we're gonna take off with the first question. Let's see Let's see how we can. Okay, I also maybe I would suggest you guys to have also a place to take down notes. What I'm gonna do is simply I'm gonna take the question here, I'm gonna paste it down, and we are going to review it together. So what is the best time? Okay, question here, what would be appropriate on fundamentals info, where and how to learn the correct info for applying enter trades, then farming payroll, PPI, PPE, and okay, that's actually, thank you. That's actually a very good question, Wayne. And what I'm gonna do, as I said before, simply gonna put your question down here. Okay, just a second. It seems like, Wayne, you understood the concept. That's very good. So you guys can feel free, like I said, just like Wayne did, he shoot the question and I paste it down. Okay, those are all short versions for fundamentals, occurrences, events, and news, and so we're gonna get to that. We are, where were we? Yeah, so when is the best time? I don't like the way that this question is rephrased, but never mind. Let's work with what we've got. So when is the best time to enter a trade? Okay, I guess what this question is really asking is what will be the best entry, right? How to perhaps how to find the best entry. So first of all, let's understand what is entry before I'm explaining you anything. And one more thing, the platform that we're looking at is called the web trader, right? So people that are using MT4 and MT5, I have to let you know in advance, I might explain things that you might not be able to find on MT4 and MT5. Okay, it looks a bit different. In here you have the leverage and some other things. Okay, never mind, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the web trader, this version of this this version is the desktop version, and this platform is on the browser, so you don't need to download or install anything, right? Okay, now what is entry? Let's understand the concept here. So what I'm looking at, okay, so this is usually by default, right? A currency. We're gonna look at something else just so we can diverse, and we are going to look at one of the commodities, maybe one of the metals. How is gold doing? Gold is pretty interesting, to be frank. Doesn't look bad, isn't it? Yeah, let's work with gold, okay? Let's work with gold, okay, for the time being. All right. Actually, I do want to string this question with support and resistance because this will help me explain what's the best time or price. Time or price, because the time, okay, I want to understand the meaning of this question. The time can be time, as in now, in an hour, in a day, in a week, in a month, right? That's time. And the best time could be also the price. So the price is also, oh, something is happening. I think that my computer wants to, okay, let's see if we can postpone that. Thank God. Yeah, so when is the best time? We're going to answer both, the best time and the best price. So the time, as I said before, time can be any time frame, could be, okay, are we going to, yeah, let's make it, okay. All right, so when is the best time? Now, when I'm looking at gold, okay, I can't define a specific time that I say, okay, in an hour, it might be good to enter a trade. Yeah, is that understood? I can't say in a week, might be good to enter a trade. In a minute, might be, we cannot know that. Nobody can know that, okay? Nobody can anticipate the fluctuations or the direction or anything about the market that can be too specific. What can we say? We can say that there are certain levels, okay, described on the chart, okay, support and resistance. Did we have a question for that? We did have a, oh, there we go. How do I identify support and resistance? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to string both of those questions, support and resistance and the best price. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and use support and resistance to find the best. Again, I don't like when this word is used, the best. Who can tell me if it's the best or not? But let's try it, right? So the best time or price to enter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply compare the price that we're having now to the price that I'm planning to sort of enter the position. Okay, let's suppose that we are planning to buy. Okay, for the time being, or maybe I should have explained to you how I have done that. Right, and we're looking at 2029.45. That seems to me like in the middle of. I hope that everybody can see. By the way, I'm looking at days, right? I'm looking at days. We cannot know that because my crosshair is not defined. This is by default. This white crosshair doesn't allow me to do anything besides click and drag. So I have to change it from no crosshair to crosshair. And then I have data from the candles, and I can click and drag, and as well I can see information from the candles. Now, furthermore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys that this price has occurred from above and from below. This price, 2029, in the past, roughly, I'm going to use, you see this tiny arrow next to the sell and the buy. I'm going to use this a lot, okay, to place things on the chart that will help us remember and to analyze. And what I do now is I place the timeline. Okay, this is the timeline. There's the timeline, price line, trend line, all kind of arrows here. You might want to use if you want to use you want to remember a certain area, or you want to capture, I don't know, consolidation area with a rectangle, right? So you might want to do that. You can also get rid of the background. Okay, I don't want to delay about it too much because probably people focused on the question. Okay, so what is the best time to enter a trade and how to identify support and resistance? So we're going to get two birds with one stone, and what we're going to do is simply compare the price that we're having now potentially to the price that we're looking for. Now, what did I do? I'm just looking at the pick point here. This could be a nice pivot point, okay, maybe here in the middle. And I'm looking at the prices. This is the last price that I see from the price that we're at. I'm looking at the lower price. So the lower levels, let me also show you what I mean by that. I just don't want to have too many lines, right, to confuse you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to capture here different level of support just to show you the idea, right? So this is a support level, this is a support level, this is a support level. All of those are support levels. Okay, I can simply place horizontal line, but I don't want to confuse you, okay? So we're going to keep it as it is. This is our main support line. Let's suppose 2024, since this is the recent one. And I'm looking at the resistance. So resistance will be vice versa. We're looking at the upper lines. Basically, we're looking at prices above the line. That seems to us, this might as well be this. Yeah, this also can be considered as a resistance. But I'm not looking at it too significantly. I'm looking at this one more. And I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm just showing you an example to answer the question, okay? This is obviously a very strong resistance. We see multiple times. It was rejected here and here and here and here priorly. Okay, and in here, it passed it when? Let's see. When was that? It was a month ago, okay? Right, and how does that even help me with the first question? Okay, I have marked certain edge points that I could find on the chart, no problem. How is that any help to enter a trade? Okay, so let's suppose that I want to enter now. Okay, I want to enter now. Let's see what can be. I'm going to change the lot size here to 0.01, which is the bare minimum. And I'm simply going to compare how much I can make if I'm buying now and it gets to the resistance line, and if I'm selling now and it gets to the support line. Okay, let's just compare. So I'm going to click on the take profit to help us simulate the possible profit. So this is one of the particular things that I've mentioned a minute ago. Just a second, guys, I'm sorry. As I said before, sometimes I have to take those tiny breaks. So, as I said before, this is a nice comparison that you can make with a web trader, but you won't be able to make with MT4, MT5. Why? Because in here is if you change, first I want to explain that for the people among us that don't fully. Sorry guys, apparently I was on mute. Okay, so as I was saying, and it was important for me to explain that for beginners who didn't pass the initial segment. When I'm buying something, our intention is that the value will increase. When I'm selling something, our intention is that the value will decrease, okay, downwards. What happens if I'm buying something and the value decreases? Who knows? Anyone? Come on, guys. You lose, exactly, Shamira. Thank you very much. So if I'm buying something and it goes down, I lose. And if I'm selling something and it goes up, I lose, right? Very simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put here the resistance line as an example, 2041. You see, it says here right here. Let me mark it in green. Okay, since we are buying. Okay, so it appears that we're going to make almost 13 quid. And if it goes down to 2024, we're going to have how much? Oh, we are buying, right? But let's change to a sell, and then we'll see how much we can make. Right. Something here does. Oh, there we go. Right. So up, we could have made entry. Okay, so we're gonna put here example entry hypothetically 2028 75. Okay, that's now price. Gold price buy is 2041. Where is our lovely resistance line, right? And gold price for a sell, okay, is, let's see, right. Now, how does that work exactly? So we're gonna put here possible profit, and in here possible profit. Again, guys, don't get confused. I'm comparing a buy and a sell, okay? This could have as well be the potential loss, okay, if it would have been the other way around. So for this, we had, I think, 13, right? If I'm not mistaken, $13. $13. And in here, how much? 5, right? $5. Now, what does that mean exactly? In between, from resistance to support, what do we have? Let's see. Okay, we have 2041 minus 2024. So that's $17. Okay, that's the length. Let's see that I'm not making any mistake here. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna hypothetically gold versus gold. I'm sorry, did I put something here wrong? Wayne gold versus gold. Yeah, this is the gold price. We're looking at gold, that's correct, and this is the gold price. This is hypothetically where I would have aimed. So let's suppose that instead of the entry now, let's say entry 1, let's call it entry 1, and let's replace it with entry number 2. So this is example 1. Okay, let's capture what we have here. Example A and example B. Okay, and in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hypothetically pretend that we are buying at roughly, not exactly at the support line, a little bit higher, let's suppose, okay? And our gold price is no longer, the sell is really not relevant, okay? And it will still be 2041, which means 2025 minus 2041 at $16. Okay, could have been 17 if I would have bought it at the support line exactly, but for some reason I didn't want to. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that now. We'll get to that later on. Okay, but right now what I'm trying to explain to you guys is the best time or the best price to enter to an entry, to my personal opinion, is you gotta make a comparison between the support, where is our note? Between the support line and the resistance, and you can acknowledge the first line, the second line, whatever you want. But the point is you don't have to buy now, you can wait for something to happen and only then buy. There are additional things to analysis, and I can tell you that this tail here could be a sign for retracement, and then if it happened here and here and here, statistically it could bounce again. Okay, if there is no fundamental reason, and then it can bounce back up. Okay, that just makes sense. And we're not, again, I don't want to do analysis too much on the webinar because we have another 4, 5, 6 questions. So I'm just gonna leave you with that. But the point is, there is no actual best time or best price to enter. It's up to you to optimize your entry. There are certain things that can assist you, and this is one of the ways, okay? Support and resistance, the way to identify is to look at, let me put it down. You can find certain levels by pivot points or edge points higher or lower than the price, can be followed by a hammer reversed right. Okay, and the best time to enter, let's say to optimize your entry, you can look for, how can I explain that? To optimize your entry, you can look for the best price to grasp the length, right, that you are planning to achieve. that this is understood enough, because there's no actual way for me to explain it, guys. I'm extremely sorry, not with the time that we have at least. There was your entry. Yeah. Okay. Right, we're gonna take that as well. This is, again, this is just a hint. The hammers are not, it's not a rule. I mean, oh, what did I do? It's not a rule that all the time we're gonna have hammers on support and resistance, but it's very common. Okay. How to use leverage, we'll get to that. Who can I reach out? This one is a very, very easy one. We're gonna put here senior account manager for trading. Well, basically a senior account manager, right? Unless we're gonna put here customer service for customer service. Okay, account manager. This one is quite self-explanatory. Maybe I shouldn't put it down because it doesn't make anything that people don't know. Senior account manager can be addressed with all kind of queries and can be assigned on your file after making a deposit. Deposit in starting to move. Starting after making a deposit. I think this is pretty much, yeah, pretty much concludes what we want. Can somebody trade on my behalf? No. The answer is we're not providing you that, guys. We don't have this kind of service, but we have many other solutions, which I'm going to provide you with in a second. But first, I'm going to explain to you about how the leverage works, and then we can carry on with ease. Okay, so how does the leverage work, or how to use leverage? Again, I'm not really a big fan of how this question is interpreted, but we're going to deal with what we have, and we're going to try and explain how to use leverage, or in other words, how the leverage works. Okay, very well. So we're going to look at, let's carry on with gold. There is really no need to change gold. And let's keep it as it is. Think 0.01 is pretty good as an example. So we're going to put the several things here. 2028, as we said, this is the price we have now. This is the price per unit. Since it's gold, it's ounces, it's units is ounces. Okay, it's measured by ounces. Each unit is an ounce, and each ounce costs 20.2892. Oh, it just changed. Never mind. We're not going to get picky with the what comes after decimal, since it keeps on fluctuating. And we're gonna multiply that by, because it's 1, then I guess that the value will stay the same, and then it won't be interesting. So let's make it 5, right? Then we're gonna have a nice number. Yeah, let's make it 5. Let's make it 5. And okay, price per unit. Just a second, guys. Price per unit, okay. Number of units equals 5. This is the lot size. Let's say lot size. Don't get confused. It's not 5 lots, okay? Let me just show you. 1 lot is not equals to 1. 1 lot equals to 100. So 5 lots is going to take you to the moon. Okay, it's not like 0.05 at all. Okay, guys, it's 100 times more. If you want to verify before you're opening a position, if you want to be sure, the lot size and the amount of units and everything, you can click here on instrument details. Okay, let me just show you once more how I open this sidebar. Okay, I'm gonna close it. Okay, either sell or buy. It's gonna open me the nice sidebar. And then I have two tabs, the order entry with all of my specifications and the instrument details. And underneath that, so we're gonna give it a minute. Let's go back and then we'll come back here. Yeah, worked. Okay, so it's gonna show me all kind of things. The lot size is one of them. Okay, the lot size seems to be 100. Therefore, 0.05 seems to be 5. There we go. Lot size, so let's just to be clear, right? Number of units is 5. Therefore, we're gonna do 2028, 72 multiply. You're gonna understand in a second why I'm telling you this story, guys, and how it's even related to leverage, right? So our calculator here, 2028, 72 multiply 5, and that's the exact number we have here, right? That's the beauty about the web trader. So you don't have to do it in your head like in MT4 and MT5. You can just look in here. It already says value. So this is the value, right? And what we're going to do, as you can see, leverage here is 1 to 20, which means that it multiplies buying and selling. It's already elaborated here with a nice pop-up message, right? An option to open a bigger position than your account balance by having your broker multiplying your investment amount, which means that if I'm multiplied by 20. There's a question here by Gideon. Gideon, can you please explain how spread betting works? I'm very, very sorry, my friend, but this is not this type of webinar. Unfortunately, we're not explaining how spread betting works, neither options. And I'm receiving those questions frequently. We have a dedicated webinar for that. And unfortunately, we just don't have the time. I barely have another 20 minutes. I have another 2 questions to answer, including this one. Unfortunately, no. Okay, but you can come to the webinar dedicated to that. You can ask your senior account manager to send you the link and you can see it. You can get the whole webinar dedicated to that, and I'm sure you will enjoy. But unfortunately, no. This webinar is not meant for that. Okay, we have another question. Mohammed, how to customize the indicator on AvaWeb like Fibonacci retracement if I want to customize retracement an extension with one tool. I'm not sure that the retracement you can do it here because it's part of the tools that we have, right? You see? You must let's see if we can adjust it. Oh, that was fast. Wow. I hope that it helped. But for somebody, for everyone to enjoy this lovely question, let me first write down thank you, and then I won't forget. I'm so sorry, Egidio, but like I said, I just don't have the time. But I will answer this lovely question by Mohammed. And Mohammed, I'm gonna paste your question down here. Oh, it doesn't let me do it for some reason. Let's see why. It's a little annoying. Oh, there we go. Check that out. And then we're gonna, oops. Let's make it blue, just for the heck of it. Why not? And okay. We'll get to that, I promise you, in a minute. Where were I? I was here. Yeah, so as I was explaining, this is super simple, guys. There is nothing complicated about the leverage, but I do want you to be able to know how to do it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly recap. So we said the price here is actually what one unit costs, right? This is how many units I have. Sorry, this is how many units I have, and this is the lot size. This is the value. So this is actually the outcome of how much this position will be worth, right? And then I have the leverage, which basically multiplies my financial ability for this particular asset. It doesn't mean that my whole account is 1 to 20. No, guys, absolutely not. I'm going to open a share. I'm going to open a stock like, what am I going to open? Intel as an example. You're going to see something completely, oh, yeah, I'm going to give it a minute. Come on, or Facebook. Yeah, so Facebook is 1 to 5, right? And Intel, what about now? 1 to 5 as well. What about Groupon? Let's see, Groupon, 1 to 5. What else? Coca-Cola. Yeah, so it seems like stocks are 1 to 5. Currencies will be different. 1 to 20. Commodities can also be different. 1 to 10. As you can see, my point here, guys, is that the leverage changes. And with the leverage being different, then your buying and selling power will be different as well. Okay? So you must make this comparison before opening a position, so you won't be confused with how much margin is being used. Okay. Now, how does that work exactly? So what I'm going to do is just divide the value by how much leverage I have, which appears to be 20, and that comes down to just a second, 143.6 divided by 20 equals, okay, perfect. Okay, and this is the margin impact. I'm gonna put down here, margin impact equals necessary amount to open a position. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys enjoy that for another 20 seconds to let it sink in. And then I'm going to carry on with ease with the rest of our wonderful questions. Anything about that, by the way? Any other questions about that before we carry on? Excellent. All right, so we can. This is wonderful. Thank you, Jeffrey. I agree with you. This is wonderful. But yeah, it's basic and wonderful both. So we're gonna carry on with ease. Later on, you can review it in the recorded version. I'm just gonna take here the inputs, and we're gonna put it one underneath each other. Just a second. Okay. I hope it's not gonna get mixed up. But I guess there is no much that we can do about it, right? Yeah. Oh, it wasn't the last question. Right. I guess that this is really easy to answer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer your questions, guys, and then I'm gonna get to that. Okay, what would be an appropriate on fundamentals info, where and how to learn the correct info for applying to enter trades? This is by who? Who asked me that? Oh, Wayne, right, Wayne. Okay. So Wayne, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you our lovely economic calendar. Okay, we're gonna take that question. And since we're gonna have the NFP next week, or is it this week? It's not always, usually the NFP is the first Friday of the month, but you might be surprised. So let's if I remember correctly, it's next week, not this week, but life are full of surprises. So what I'm gonna do is, this is the default screen, right? This is the default screen, guys. Let's look to the left and go all the way down. Oh, not all the way down to the globy icon here. And we're gonna click on economic calendar. Gonna let it load. Okay, right? For people who don't know what the NFP is, that means non-farming payroll, and that means all the new jobs acquired to US beside agriculture jobs. Agriculture jobs means farmers and so on. Okay, why isn't it? Oh, probably it's, yeah. Okay, let's see what's happening this Friday. Oh, but then you guys won't be able to find it by yourselves. So I'd rather just search it. Now farming. Question if it will appear this way. Not really. Maybe it's typed a little different. None. That's what we're looking for, and that's on Friday. And as I said, people, don't be upset. Usually it's the first Friday of the month. This time it's not. Okay, it's next week. And basically what I did is I clicked here. Maybe I should show you. Oh, never mind. It's really simple. You guys understood the concept here with the Meglify, right? Clicked on the Meglify, put what I wanted. It's right here. I can cancel it. Let me do it again. You know what? Do it again. I put farm, click enter, and it's right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it, and we're going to explore what's happening down here. I'm going to click on read more just to make sure that I'm looking at the right thing. Yeah. And we're looking at, but this, I'm not sure that it will allow us to see it all the way up, right? Because it's showing us other things. Let me keep it as US only. What about now? No, it's still at the bottom. Okay. You'll have to forgive me because, no, we can see all the way up. No problem. Okay, so we have 3. The question here by Wayne was, what was the question? Let's see. What would be appropriate on fundamentals info, where and how to learn the correct info for applying to enter trades? Okay then. So the NFP, the non-farming payroll. So what exactly does that mean? And how does that help us to trade at all? Okay? Because with more jobs, what do you think? The economy is driven positively or negatively when we have more jobs? Let me just put it down here, just for the sake of the discussion. So where you have the previous, or let me put it in the topic here, non-farm. How is it written here? It's weird it couldn't, oh, okay, non-farm, not farming, farm, payrolls, fab. Okay, so we have the previous, it was revised? No, it's as it is. We have the forecast. Forecast is 9. The K stands for thousands, right, guys? Don't get confused. The K is for thousands. And we're gonna have the actual, which stays as a question mark, but we're gonna hypothetically pretend if it would have been higher, if it would have been lower, what could be the outcome, and so on and so on. And we're simply gonna begin. Okay, and as you can see, it's configured as high impact event. Now, what this event is actually telling us? How many jobs were applied? Now, what do you think? More jobs. Just a second, guys. I'm sorry. Very sorry. All right. So as I was about to ask, so more jobs applied to US. Is that good or bad for the dollar? What do you think? Is it good or bad? Let's talk numbers, right? One of my associates always say that. Let's talk numbers. So let's talk numbers. So the previous one was, let me, you know what, let me make it this way. There we go. Right. Let's suppose, okay, as an example. Right. So when you wrote good, who else thinks, let's say the previous was 353, let's say that the new one comes out as 400,000. Oh, it's not dollars, it's jobs. Who thinks that the dollar will strengthen according to that? Very good, Kahil. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, why would the dollar strengthen when there are more jobs, right? I could think, look, there are more jobs, so more people to pay salary, so maybe the dollar will be weakening. It's exactly the other way around. The more the dollar will be used, the more the economy cycle is keep on moving, then the economy, the tax keep on moving, and the economy cycle is healthier. Less jobs we have, less taxpayers, less production we have. We also have an event signifying that more people to spend. Exactly. So the point here, and the answer to this question is, and I actually spoke about it yesterday. Bigger number, in this particular case, bigger numbers means it's thumbs up, right? Bigger numbers, more jobs, positive for the dollar, no problem. But it's not a collective rule. There is also an indication, there is also an event for the inflation. There is an event for economy negative usage. So we have all kind of things that bigger number is not positive. It's not. But in this particular case, as simple as it gets. But the question is though, if the impact will be immediate or not. And I can tell you guys, when you're doing fundamental analysis, okay, I'm gonna use a metaphor because, as I said in the disclosure, later on, I don't want people to be upset and tell, hey, Danny said this and that. So I'm gonna use a metaphor. The impact from fundamental analysis sometimes happen in waves. Therefore, you can see some fluctuations, right? One direction, bullish or bearish, and then you might be surprised. So sometimes it's good to wait for the real thing. Okay, sometimes it happens on the spot, it happens immediately, you see the impact. Let me show you. Just a second, I'll go back to the beginning. Now, why am I showing you gold? Who knows showing you gold when I just spoke about the NFP, which is obviously not I would say not related to gold, but that's that will be not true. Okay, let's find. Right, so I don't want to mislead anyone. This is why I'm going to check that it was truly on the first. No, that was the non-farm productivity. Yeah, right, but this was revised. As you can see, this has been much higher than the actual forecast. And because we seems to think that when the NFP comes higher, then the dollar can be strengthening. Look what happened on the first with gold. Now people gonna ask me, hey Danny, what is exactly the connection between NFP coming higher to gold being high, right? Now, as you can see, gold here plunged considerably. Gold is a safe haven, opposite to the dollar. Exactly. And still, Wayne, how do you explain to me that gold was this way when it should have been, well, considerably lower? Let me show you that. But that was the second, right? And that's exactly, guys, what I was talking about. As you can see, the immediate response, you can see here, let's this is Friday, right? So as you can see, 2055, it was closed 2054. You want to tell me that gold moved the dollar on Friday? Yeah. Let me see. Let me catch another Friday. This is the first. This is, I guess, right? I hope I'm not making a mistake. This was the first, so the 25th might be here, the 26th. Anyway, the point is, guys, as you can see, things can happen later as well. Things doesn't necessarily need to happen on the spot. You can see things on the spot, no problem, but the impact can be much more significant later on. Okay, so it's not a formula. You need to look. You need to check that as well. Okay, so you won't get tangled. And let's see if we have any more questions. I hope, Wayne, you're good with my answer. I hope you're satisfied. And if, obviously, if there is anybody else who wants to ask about that, you're more than welcome. That's what we're here for. Any questions? Any questions about that? Let me put it down. Okay, just for the sake of the discussion. So later on, people can review it on YouTube and whatnot. But unfortunately, you know what? I wanted to send you guys the links, and it appears that we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time, and I have a question here from Mohammed, how to customize. Okay, so Mohammed, pay close attention. I'm going to show you that. It's going to take us less than a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Mohammed Shoaib, right? I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. Look very carefully on the chart. I'm going to do it with you now. I'm going to click on the tiny arrows next to the sell and the buy. Click on the tiny arrow. Click on Fibonacci retracement. And, okay, let me just bold your question here. Right? So how to customize indicator on Ava Web, like Fibonacci retracement. I would like to customize the retracement and the extension with one tool. So what will happen now is I'm simply going to click here. You see that this is the retracement. I can place it where I want. Let's suppose I want to click here, and then I drag, and then I customize it. As you can see, I click and I change it. And I can also change it from the lines here. So it's depending on the trend. You see that depending on how long the trend is, can put it down here, can put it down here, can go a little higher, and then it's minimizing the raise. Okay, the raise will expand and minimize according to how big the trend line is. Now, furthermore, if I want to change what's inside, I'm going to click anywhere in this rectangle. I can click here. You see, I can click here. It doesn't make any difference. I can just click where I want, wherever I want. Okay, and I do it twice. I double click and I can change here and modify whatever I want. Just scroll down, scroll up and down, and I'm changing whatever I need. Okay, very, very, very simple. So I'm going to put here as the answer showed on the chart. Okay. And I'm going to send you guys the link here super, super quickly. Actually, there is no need to be honest, guys, there is no need. I'd rather give you the coupon, the benefit, special promotion code, so you can get a nice one-on-one premium market review. Gonna give you a minute to enjoy that. Much appreciated. How to use it? Absolutely. So Wayne, there is a nice webinar exactly for that. As I told you to the guy who asked about spread betting, there is a webinar by Mr. Troy Frey. He is a master in fundamental analysis. You want to go to that and enjoy that. And I'm gonna paste here the special promotion code. You can get from your senior account manager a nice one-on-one premium market review. Okay, so you just give him that code and ask for a one-on-one premium market review. You guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm sorry for the time breaks. As I said, I hope that next week I'll be fully recovered and then I can give you another webinar with ease. And that's it. I wish you all a fruitful week full of profits. And thank you for coming and have a good day.